Then we are moving on to the third question. Okay, so the third question is from Ibu Ratna Lubis from Telkom University. The question is for Dr. Tan and Dr. Andri. The first question for Dr. Tan is, how do we organize all those perspectives that you mentioned on your presentation from the academia, government, etc., since every perspectives have their own ego? So I think Dr. Tan, could you please answer the first one first?
All right, thanks, Miss Epi. I try my best to address these questions. All right, no doubt all those perspectives that I mentioned just now have their own ego, but at the end of the day, what is important in the country agenda is very much depending on the main objective set by the government of the country. Likewise, I mentioned about Malaysia, we do have a very comprehensive framework to move the agriculture towards smart farming. All right, and I believe all these policies are related to the different level of the stakeholders. So my point is, at the end of the day, every entity, they need to work hand in hand to not only to meet their own ego, but actually they have to look forward on the bigger pictures of the entire agriculture sector. All right. So I think that I hope that I addressed the questions asked by
Ibu Ratna.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the answer, Dr. Ratna, Ibu Ratna. Would you like to comment on the explanation, Ibu?
Thank you, Ibu Happy. I'm sorry, I'm off camera ya.
No worries.
Miss Cheng Ling Tan, I would like to know your experience. Perhaps in previous academic profession, you have an experience how to organize this ego. I would like to know your experience, because here sometimes I get frustrated about this ego. Thank you.
Tips and trick probably, doctor.
All right. I guess that ego is I think every sectors, every entity, they do have their own ego. But at the end of the day, we have to still looking at the main objective, what we want to achieve at the end. If the objective is clear to everyone, I guess that everyone have to work together in order to to go over that and achieve the objective towards the end of the day.
Okay. So always remind ourselves about the objective, right? The objective is the most important than our own ego.
Correct.
Okay. All right then. Thank you very much. And then the second one from Ibu Ratna to Dr. Andri, talking about centralized versus decentralized system, do you think that this pandemic COVID-19 is a sign for the power of individual with the help of digital technology? What do you think, Dr. Andri? What do you think, Pak Andri?
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Bu Ratna, for the question. Yeah, I think it's not only about the COVID-19, but we are moving toward the individual power. Yeah. Before this era, we cannot record the reputation, each individual reputation globally. Yeah, you can have your reputation on Twitter, you can have reputation on Instagram, but it's all separated on different systems. So this is kind of difficult for us to trace our own reputation. But this technology, but I mentioned blockchain and decentralized web. The ultimate is try to have to have record of your reputation, for example, on the society, so you will get more benefit if you can verify that you are a good person, you are a good citizen, or something like that. But it's not only about centralized and decentralized. Some people say that decentralized is important, but the other people, some groups say that the most important for the decentralized web is data ownership, because it's very important right now. So yes, before we go to the public or individual voice, we always use a statement like a crowd crowdsourcing, crowd movement. But the crowd is always chaos. It's not always structured. So we try to structure the complex mechanism using this technology. So I hope maybe it's too technical, but I hope this makes sense for you, Bu Ratna.
Okay.
Thank you, Pak Andri. Terima kasih, Bu Happy.
You're welcome, Bu Ratna.
Okay, but here the committee has already prepared and write down the questions in the slides. The first, this is from Ibu Ratna Lubis, from Telkom University, and the question is for Professor Mitomo and also Dr. Nanath. For Professor Mitomo, the question is, are you afraid or excited of those personal data hyperconnectivity in this current digital environments because of global pandemic?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for the question. It's very interesting question. Yeah, when it comes to private sector, hyperconnectivity is not a concern. But in the case of public data, the government don't want to ensure any connectivity. I mean, especially among countries. And so in that sense, in short, even under this kind of global pandemic, government still try to confine their database or data issues within the country. And there would be no case to work together among countries, I suppose. Yeah, that is my question, my answer.
Thank you so much for the response, Prof. Hitoshi. Ibu Ratna, do you have any comment for the answer from Professor Hitoshi?
Mitopo-san, I would like to know your answer. Are you afraid or are you excited? Just choose one of the word.
Okay, yes or no, you mean?
Afraid or excited?
I am not afraid. So what do you mean by excited?
Excited means that you would feel that this hyperconnectivity will improve our sustainability, will improve our human connectivity, will improve our no more inequality, something like that. The more future good for all of humanity.
Yeah, basically in ICT or digital technology should work for that. So in that sense, it is excited in your sense. But in the case of COVID-19, this application, I don't think the government seeks that kind of a direction.
Then thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Hitoshi. And the question for Dr. Nana, what is your definition of meta-learning in the field of AI? Please give me the 3 magic words, keywords. Yeah, this is also the question from Ibu Ratna.
Yep. That's a very interesting question, and I like the way the question is framed, with the keywords. So first of all, let me just quickly talk about learning. If you talk about learning itself, you're learning from historical data, and then you are coming up with outcomes. That is learning. When you talk about meta-learning, you're talking about once the algorithms have given the output, can that output become the input for learning again? And that is what is meta-learning, which means we cannot stop at the output of the algorithm. We must look at these output, consider them as further input, and kind of reinforce that on a continuous basis. And that is what is meta-learning. So if you look at the keywords, for me, I think the 3 most important keywords would be learning for sure, which is the essence of every AI model. The second is refining, because you cannot stop at kind of a particular output. You have to keep on refining your model. And the third is efficiency. Can you increase the efficiency of this? And the perfect example of meta-learning, let's say, is all these fraud detection algorithms which are happening today. An AI algorithm can come up with a fraud detection algorithm, but a hacker or these fraudster can further kind of enhance their methods. And then AI should further learn from that, further refine it, and the attacker further refines it, and the game goes on. So this kind of learning from the output of the algorithm itself is what is meta-learning. And again, it's a very important question in the context of sustainability, because if we stop at the position of just one output, we are not looking at sustaining this in the long run. If an AI use case has to sustain in the long run, then it has to go for meta-learning, which means learning from the output itself. So that would answer your question.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nana. Okay, Bu Ratna, are you satisfied with the answer?
Thank you, Dr. Nana. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.